There's fire in Foxboro today, an explosive target on the market, a performance that changed the locker room's mood, quotes that give you chills, and a tactical detail that could turn the key on the season. Brace yourself, Patriots Nation. There's an offensive piece in the crosshairs, a culture being forged by sheer will, and an unlikely hero sparking the flame. Do you feel it? Because the narrative has shifted, and the light is green to dream bigger. What would you do if the perfect opportunity knocked? You won't believe what we've got today. So sit down, drop a like, and let's dive straight into the news. You know when the entire locker room holds its breath because it feels like one move could flip the season. That's what's happening in Foxboro. Behind the scenes, decision makers are debating a surgical move to give Maye another perimeter weapon, someone who can stretch the field, punish zone coverage, and turn third downs into daggers. The conversation heated up after the 42-13 dismantling. When it became obvious, the defense intimidates, the competitive DNA is back, but there's still that missing piece, Calvin Ridley. Yes, the same wideout who was once treated as elite and now weighed down by Tennessee's 0-4 start emerges as the perfect mid-season trade candidate. Context matters. The Titans are trending toward being sellers, and Ridley, despite a dysfunctional offense, has 141 yards this year after putting up 1,017 yards and 4 touchdowns last season. In the right environment, with designs that maximize those violent cuts and the dig route, he becomes a weekly mismatch again. In New England, he fits like, just look at the numbers. Stephon Diggs has already justified the investment, leading the team with 213 yards, and Kayshon Boutte is ascending at 165, but the next wideout is Mack Hollins with 42. That's where the math doesn't add up. Hunter Henry and Ramondre Stevenson are producing, sure, but leaning on a tight end and a running back for the bulk of 20-plus yard explosives caps the offense's ceiling. Ridley, aligned outside or in stacked looks from the slot, forces the safety to respect the deep third and creates one-on-ones for Diggs to work in breakers. The result, bigger windows and cheaper reads for the quarterback. For Maye, the impact is direct. With Ridley threatening and crossing at speed, the progressions simplify, the play-action window widens, and the red zone gets new combinations of rub concepts and option routes. Mike Vrabel wants an implacable execution culture, adding a separator with polished technique matches that philosophy. The fan base is already reacting. Plenty of people love the team's identity against the Panthers, but they're demanding the next step in the passing game. It's time to give Maye one more weapon. And the cost? No mortgaging the future. A reasonable package could be a conditional third-rounder tied to snap/production plus a late-round swap. Cap, manageable. Ridley's contract won't handcuff the team, and New England has the flexibility to absorb the hit through conversions and well-timed void years. Technical risk? Low. Proven separator, full route tree, experience in timing-based systems. There's also the strategic ripple effect, with defenses forced to respect 2 outside threats. Hunter Henry and Ramondre Stevenson feast over the middle, boxes lighten, the screen game punishes blitz, and time of possession, the old Patriots calling card reappears. Add the energy of a 2-2 locker room under new leadership, and the message is crystal clear: there's room to climb. And that wasn't even the most surprising part of the day. Something feels different in Foxboro. The 42-13 romp over the Panthers wasn't just any win, it was a declaration that Mike Vrabel's culture is spreading across the locker room. You can hear it in the players' voices. Mack Hollins let a powerful truth slip. It doesn't matter if they're up by 100 or down by 100. Nobody quits. Nobody lets up. That's competitive DNA, something we hadn't seen this strong in recent years. The result? A roster playing hungry to prove it can compete. Demario Douglas couldn't hide his joy. I can't stop smiling. And no wonder. The offense clicked, the defense dominated, and special teams contributed. It was the definition of complementary football, the classic style that made the Patriots synonymous with consistency. For a young player like Douglas, feeling that machine finally hum naturally sparks excitement, and that energy is contagious. But the most important detail lies between the lines. The group isn't satisfied. Milton Williams nailed it. The win simply showed the capability is there, but they need to play clean, cut the mistakes, and stay consistent week to week. That message reflects maturity, something that usually takes years to build, yet Vrabel accelerated it in just 4 games. The point is made: one win isn't enough. They need to turn it into a standard. And here comes the real challenge. Up next are the undefeated Buffalo Bills, a division rival with Super Bowl credibility. If the Panthers game allowed New England to breathe and get creative, the Bills will test their nerve, discipline, and execution at the limit. Vrabel knows it, the players know it, and the fans feel it. They'll need to replicate the energy and even double the intensity to shock the league. And that's the golden opportunity, to show the NFL that New England isn't just back, but ready to fight for territory against giants. Now think about it. If this group rides the momentum of that blowout and brings the same hunger to Buffalo, can't we dream bigger than we did just 2 weeks ago? Because if Sunday proved anything, it's that the culture is taking root. And when that happens, results tend to explode. But hold on, because what comes next involves a key piece that could redefine the franchise's immediate future. Maye walked off the field smiling. And it wasn't just the lopsided score against the Panthers, it was the sense that something bigger is forming.
His post-game words felt like a manifesto, pride in his teammates, a return to fundamentals, and most of all, the feeling that the offense's identity is finally showing. Hearing that level of maturity from a second-year player is encouraging on its own, but when the talk matches the production, 82.4% completions, 23 yards, and 2 touchdowns, you simply can't ignore it. Mike Vrabel highlighted exactly that: growth in his progressions, speed to identify the right target, and red zone efficiency. Those are trademarks of quarterbacks who see the game at a high level earlier than expected, and Maye is delivering. It's the cherry on top, collective buy-in. The coach emphasized how downfield blocking sprung big plays, turning each snap into proof of cohesion. This isn't just about individual talent, it's about culture and detail-oriented execution. Teammates feel the difference. Mac Hollins, now in his 9th NFL season, spoke about growing confidence. The more snaps Maye gets, the calmer and more decisive he becomes. For a group that needed to believe in its quarterback again, that shift is vital. The offense no longer depends on flashes or isolated plays. It's starting to show week-to-week consistency. Of course, mistakes will happen, avoidable interceptions, rushed reads, needless penalties. But the point is that Maye is learning and turning errors into growth. That's what separates fleeting talent from long-term leadership. And when the NFL sees a second-year QB commanding the offense with confidence and discipline, perceptions change. The narrative moves from promising youngster to franchise pillar. Here's the exhilarating part. If he announced himself against the Panthers, what happens when he faces the undefeated Bills in a division showdown against one of the league's most respected defenses? That will be the real thermometer. It's exactly the kind of stage that can launch Maye from pleasant surprise to QB to be reckoned with. Fans are already asking, are we witnessing the start of something big? And that still wasn't the most electrifying chapter of what's coming next. Just when it looked like the offense would be Sunday's headliner, a player many had pegged as a complimentary piece stole the show: Marcus Jones. His 87-yard punt return touchdown ignited Gillette Stadium and flipped the tone of the game against the Panthers. Vrabel didn't hold back. He called the play a tactical weapon, said it's exactly what he's been demanding since training camp, and made it clear this kind of play can swing tight games. The most impressive detail, Jones did it while being undersized by NFL standards. He's not the tallest or the strongest, but he makes up for it with contact strength, elite vision, and above all, fearlessness. You have to be fearless to secure a punt with 10 guys screaming at you and still turn it into a highlight. The coach nailed it. It's not a textbook skill you teach, it's instinct, it's feel, and in New England, that's always been valued. Jones, of course, didn't forget his teammates. He said his first thought was to give the offense good field position, that he was almost tripped up at the start, but trusted the blocking and watched lanes open. That collective spirit underscores a bigger point. Vrabel's Patriots are starting to look like the team where all 3 phases feed off each other: offense, defense, and special teams complementing one another, the historical formula for success in Foxboro. Now think about the psychological impact. A return like that early in a game shifts the energy not just inside the stadium, but throughout the sideline. Suddenly, the Panthers were trailing and under pressure, while New England played loose and confident. That's fuel for the upcoming matchups. And now at 2-2, the season stops feeling like a pure rebuild test and starts smelling like a serious fight. It's as if every win, every explosive play lays another brick on the road back to the top. When fans see a young quarterback growing, a roster embracing a new culture, and players like Marcus Jones deciding games at key moments, it's hard not to get butterflies. Because let's be honest, nobody expected the leap to happen this fast. But here's the question: are we watching the beginning of a historic turnaround? Patriots Nation, the message is clear. If the front office dares to swing on Calvin Ridley, Mike Vrabel's culture and Drake Maye's growth get a turbo boost, while Marcus Jones's spark on special teams keeps the flame burning. We saw execution, hunger, and identity. Now comes the heavyweight test against Buffalo. Will we turn confidence into standard and standard into wins? I want to know, would you make the trade for Ridley today or wait one more week? Drop your take in the comments, keep it respectful, and help the channel grow. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing.